What do you single guys do on weekends without friends? Story 1. I reenact The Matrix through interpretive dance in the living for my neighbors across the street. Story 2. I usually play video games, watch YouTube/movies/series, read books or interesting articles, or do my hobbies. Sometimes I also get some inspiration for creativity and write something. I also work a little bit on creating fictional languages. I've got 2 languages currently. Both of them have basic grammar. One of them has a vocabulary of a couple hundred words. The other, several dozens. But sometimes, like now, I don't feel like doing anything, so I go to Reddit to answer someone's questions. Story 3. Go to breweries, go for a drive in the middle of nowhere, sit outside if it's nice or on the covered patio if it isn't. Read a book, listen to or play some music, or just take naps. Gotta stay busy and try to enjoy the little things, otherwise that little voice in my head that says life isn't worth living gets a little louder and a little more convincing. Story 4. Enjoying the solitude and rest from all the peeps outside who exhaust me. Work out, clean my flat and such OP. I get you're an outgoing person and like to have company. But do you try to make people feel bad in a way, or are you actually single and don't know what to do with your time? No offense intended. Story 5. A hobby gets you. A rewarding pastime. Personal growth. A way to stretch your mental, physical, social, or dexterous muscles. Maybe even all of the above. Feelings of accomplishment. A reason to leave the house. A group of people who will have at minimum one thing in common with you. Story 6. What do guys without friends in a relationship do? I'm so bored all the time. I'm trying my hand at modern video games, and even that isn't going well. My partner has his own set of friends and activities that don't include me. Story 7. Find a hobby that you enjoy doing. I've been reading your comments, and you have been negative to most of them. It sounds like you're depressed. Go do something you enjoy or join an activity with other people around. Story 8. Saturday. Gym at the morning, groceries, big breakfast, brunch, midday sleeping while watching movies or series, video games, more sleeping, eating, sleeping. Sunday. Gym at the morning, big breakfast, YouTube and sleeping, coffee and video games, sleeping, eating and meal prepping, watching movies or series and sleeping. Edit. 10-year single and moved like 15 times, so no real friends, and I do this for years. Story 9. Workout, fish, kayak, fuck girls from Hinge. Don't use Tinder. Always have a girl you can talk to, and it makes things easier. If you can, get a drone or something you can make a hobby and do by yourself. Story 10. Sleep in, Overwatch for a few rounds, lazy microwave food, laundry, clean my room and bathroom, Netflix episode or 2, work on my hobbies, call up some friends, hike, hot tub, volleyball, shower, and back to bed. Story 11. Play video games. Work on projects to build my portfolio for a career change. Hobbies like practicing guitar. A lot of the enjoyment has to do internally with being content. If you're unhappy about something, then no matter what you do at home, it won't really help. Maybe you should be looking at social events like casual sporting groups like those kickball social leagues. Or maybe joining a boxing/jiu-jitsu class and meet new people. I like being alone, but there are definitely weekends where I feel like I have to hang out with people and feel my mood drop being home on a Friday, Saturday. Especially when it's nice out. Story 12. I'm not single, but I live far from my GF and have no friends at the moment here where I live. What I did this weekend: watched 3 movies, played some hours of Elden Ring, cleaned the house, meal prepped the week, read 80-ish pages, slept an hour more from the same routine, emptied the trash, watched a football match. Story 13. Depends how I'm feeling that weekend, to be honest. Usually a combination of going to the gym first thing when it opens at 6 a.m., having some breakfast and a nap afterwards until about 12 p.m., then watch a bunch of sports, usually football, soccer, and then in the evening I'll watch a movie or catch up on a TV series. My weekends are honestly pretty chill. Oh, and obviously cook dinner, catch up on housework, etc. But housework is usually a quick hoover as I live alone and keep on top of it through the week, and some laundry. I used to go play golf, but honestly, weekends are a nightmare for golf, and I can get stuck behind a bunch of people for 4 hours, so it feels like a waste of my time. Story 14. I study 5 hours on Saturday and work an evening of 5 hours. And on Sunday, I do 4 hours of study, followed by 2 hours of MMA sparring, and then another 2 hours of study, then going home and playing video games for last few hours. Story 15. I like going to the diner by myself, actually at one right now. I honestly love how peaceful it is. My mother and I used to go to them every weekend. Then I moved away from them, but I still like to carry on the tradition even alone. Story 16. Upgrade. My electric scooter or detail my speakers, also I use to write and make songs. Most of them progressive, and some kind of trappish asterisk asterisk. The first weeks alone feels terrible. Then you get used to it, kind of love the feeling of having time for me. Story 17. I'm a lady, but I get outside. I take my dog for walks, depending on the season, ride my motorcycle, dirt bike, paddleboard. In the winter I knit or crochet, other hobbies, play video games, cross-country skiing, all kinds of stuff. I've had to find ways to keep myself busy, as I'm an empty nester at 40, and now live 6 hours away from my son. I do enjoy my solitude, so I just do the things I want to do on my own. Story 18. So I woke up on Saturday, drank coffee, played some ranked Magarena, went to the gym and groceries afterward, went back home, cooked, and some more MTG while waiting, ate, watched some YouTube, did some homework, showered and went out for a movie, came back home and watched a lecture. Sunday, woke up, had coffee, breakfast, and more MTG Arena, went to the gym, came back, had food cooked from yesterday, did some weekly chores, picked up a chore from the long waiting list, which happened to be cleaning the difficult windows on my balcony, prepped food. Now I either have to study or just chill. Story 19. Sometimes I stay home on the weekends, or I go to the cinema or museum of my choice, but try to limit the time you spend in your house. Go out there. The best adventures and connections come from fuck it, I'm going outside moments. Story 20. There is anime, video games, movies, TV shows. They are nice and all but too much is a waste of time even if you enjoy them. So try to incorporate things that will give you skill in life like exercise, walks, reading, learning new hobbies such as drawing, learning a musical instrument, learning new language, learning about investing, learning science/economy/history/politics. Try to make some business, learn how to make a website, learn how to code, learn how to make video games. Try saving for a trip to another country. Try to learn something you will be glad that you learned in the future. Story 21. Not single and also have friends, but as an introvert that doesn't enjoy pure socialization just for socialization's sake, sports, video gaming, fishing, and hopefully soon reading again as time allows. Maybe even a bit of strength training and stretching for my old ass. As you can see, it's a matter of time and prioritizing for me. You probably will have more options. P.S. It's easy to form new friends through hobbies. Story 22. Play video games, read, work on a cosplay prop that I designed to be too functional for my own good. So it's an endless cycle of 3D printing, sanding, painting, and getting parts to fit tightly into a mechanism. Also create a fictional fantasy world in my head and daydream random stories from it. I never actually sat down to record all that world building though. Probably should do that as well. Story 23. I wish I had more time off. I really like to tinker with my 3D printer. I like to paint the prints I print, dabbled in assembling and painting Warhammer figures. I drive, break, and upgrade my line of RC cars. I like to take my drone out when the weather is nice. I mostly take it with me on the jobs I go on as I'm always traveling for work and get some awesome pics in all kinds of locations. I'm in the starting stages of learning to program in Unreal Engine. I wish I had the time to dedicate to learn the piano I bought. When winter hits, I like to have a long project to work on for at least a few months. 3D printing RC bodies and upgrades. This winter I got a VR headset, which is a lot of fun. I discovered I really like cooking since buying a home. My brother got me and my dad into Magic the Gathering. Something fun we can all do together. I want to custom build a PC this year. Maybe learn and get the parts for next winter and make that the winter project. I like hobbies. Story 24. I run a gaming YouTube channel that has grown into a nice side business. I've learned a lot of creative skills like video and image editing, how to get good sound, etc. I've always been a bit of a loner, and this is a way for me to do something fun and productive while sharing myself with others, and I even make a nice side income doing it. Just celebrated 40K subs, and I'm eyeing 50K this year. Story 25. If I want to meet other people and I'm not broke, I go to a bar and get food. I take my nice car out on the weekends and joyride sometimes just to parks to shoot hoops for a little bit. Or somewhere nice. I'll just sit and relax. I don't like just driving aimlessly. If I'm trying to save money, I will cook myself some type of food on the grill chill at home. I go on Twitch if I'm not feeling like gaming myself, or Reddit. I try to avoid doom-scrolling social media. I sometimes work out for just like an hour at home to keep my abs. My job is already super physically demanding, so gym isn't for me, but I wish I could go kinda. Sometimes the weekends are just maintenance days for me. I get all my laundry, cleaning, grocery shopping done, anything that I've been putting off. I have a lot of friends, and they always want to hang out and just do nothing if we aren't going somewhere to eat or somewhere entertaining or some type of activity. Then I'd rather just relax at home and save my money. I used to be the guy who sat at home every weekend if nobody wanted to do anything. When I started going to bars by myself on the weekends to meet girls, I became the friend that everyone wanted to hang out with. Story 26. When I was single, I'm naturally an introvert, so I'd do solo activities that more or less didn't involve anyone but myself. Walks, bike rides, skates, roller hockey, along paths along the lake or in forest preserves, hockey sessions, stick/puck/skates or pickup hockey, at my local hockey rink, coffee shops to do some creative work, vintage thrift shopping. Story 27. I feel your pain, man. Sometimes I drive to a new town and just hang out for the weekend, just sleep in my car or camp somewhere like a stat park or national forest, usually smoke weed. I find being lonely more tolerable when stoned, but it seems like just doing things you like and putting the phone or computer down is best. I love going to the driving range. Go grab a few different clubs from the thrift store, local public driving range, they usually sell cheap beer. Just look at YouTube for tips on how to hit. I do consider myself a golfer, just love the range, usually hit a bucket of balls and then chill, stare out at the range drinking a beer, enjoying the sun, then hit another bucket. Story 29. Not a single guy, but wife works 1 or 2 of my days off depending on her schedule, but don't have many friends, happens as you get older. I go for a walk with the dog, go for a bike ride. There are bike paths for easier riding or dirt trails for a bit more of a workout. I'm always playing with cars, fixing them, cleaning them, modifying them, you name it. Sometimes I'll be lazy and get lost in a random documentary, or I'll hop in the car and drive aimlessly, looking at the scenery and nice houses I'll never be able to afford. Ever try fishing? I haven't since I was a kid, but heard it's a good time killer. Or playing golf. Don't need friends for any of that. Story 30. It's so important as person without friends, without a romantic partner to have hobbies. People need to be able to be alone for sure. It's healthy to have your own thing, something you don't need someone else for. I play music, snooker, read books, running, and love watching interviews, documentaries on YouTube of musicians, and it's absolutely fine if no one else likes these things because I enjoy them so much. Story 31. We just chill and do bro shit. Sometimes I'll be on a walk and find a badass-shaped stick for no reason, pick it up, walk with it like it's what I need to support myself to walk. Sometimes I'll put on music, and imagine the girl I had a crush on in high school is in the audience falling in love with me while I play a badass guitar solo. Sometimes I'll make myself way too many tater tots in the air fryer. Depends on the vibes. Story 32. Majority of the time I am with my kids. They are still young enough to want to hang out. When they aren't here, I go for walks, play poker, spend way too much time watching YouTube and movies. Story 33. See my brother, hang out and watch movies or play video games, maybe on a bike ride. I do want to get my motorcycle license, so I can buy a motorcycle and go on adventures. As right now, having a car is a bit of a dilemma, as due to limited on-street parking and no parking/garage at my house right now. Story 34. Catch up on sleep, chill out, dissociate, YouTube, Netflix, video games, house chores, food, bits, shopping, aimless meandering around cheap charity shops, sit and wonder if I have the energy to bother going somewhere bigger. Small town, an hour to the next city, nearly 3 to somewhere with decent shopping, but ultimately procrastinate until it's too late. That might be quite a bit, but I work 7 on 7 off, which sounds great until you realize it's only 35 HR's week average and a mediocre wage. Looking for something better, but that motivation in the face of so many rejections/no answers is tough to maintain. Story 35. Not single anymore, but when I was, I did a lot of things in third spaces. Library, gym, MTG tournaments, conventions. If I wasn't going out, I was farming the auction house in WoW or playing original Modern Warfare 2. I also spent a lot of time trying to remain single while still having adult relations. I didn't succeed, now married with 3 kids.